everybody, welcome back. Today I'll go get that upgrade. I want to talk about today. Vault had a good comment, and I was thinking, well, this is going to be a short week, and I don't have a lot of topics, but this is like a good topic, like an interesting topic. It's something I've thought about before, but I don't know if I've ever talked about it. I just had some thoughts about it today, and then I might as well just talk. So thanks, Vault. Always interesting comments from Vault. And topics. And questions. It's a good question. I think this is where you're supposed to go. So, what was the question? He made a comment during my episode that was about the universe and stuff, and he's like, what your take is on aliens. Do you think it's more likely there's intelligent life out there somewhere, or is it just us? I guess that's interesting in the context of religion and stuff too. I mean, my version of the Bible doesn't really exclude the possibility of alien or intelligent life, but I think most people, most Christians, would be like, no, we're the only ones. Oh yeah, I do have to go around. But keeping that in mind, I'm not against intelligent life existing. Being like, no, God made us and we're the only ones. I don't really believe that. But my uneducated opinion about this is that it is probably more unique than maybe we even keeping in mind the trillions and trillions of planets. We don't really know how hard it is to create life. Intelligent life. I mean, think about how hard it was just to do it on Earth. It took a really long time, and there were so many random things that could have stopped it from happening. And the thing I'm kind of confused about is I should look this up a little bit more probably. The creation of life on Earth was a very specific thing. Life can't be created on Earth now under the natural conditions. It was a very specific condition in the primordial Earth that led to the creation of a single cell or whatever that could evolve and reproduce. So if that one specific event didn't happen, even if you had an Earth that was habitable for life, doesn't mean it would have life, because you would need the specific conditions that we had in the beginning. If we didn't have those specific conditions to start on Earth, then life wouldn't even exist at all, because life isn't created now. Which I'm not sure if that's totally true. Maybe life is created now and it's in the Earth's core or something and we just can't see it or whatever. But we haven't been able to create cells in a lab, I don't think. With lightning and gas and stuff. So that's my first thought. That is very unique. That first of all, life was created on Earth, and then second of all, Earth changed, but it changed in a way that life was able to still survive and be habitable for that life. That seems like a very specific thing. Also, evolution is necessary. I don't think we really know how common or uncommon evolution is. Why, when that first life was created, I don't know if there are answers to these questions, but there might be. When the first life was created, why did evolution happen? Why didn't just the cell was created and then it died? why was mutation... Is mutation like an inherent thing in life that it just always happens? Or is it something like super specific that just like was a random thing that happened on Earth and it never happens? But like on Earth it happened one time, and so... all these things kind of add up to me that like... you can never say never, because the universe is basically infinitely big. But I don't think there are like aliens in our neighborhood that are like humanoid. I think that's very unlikely. In our galaxy or whatever. Not impossible. But, and that is kind of scary to think about, like, we're the only ones, like, it's our job to keep intelligence alive. What if we blow up the planet? We're the only ones. The universe is only, what, 13 trillion years old? I mean, that's not very old. Maybe we're the first. Okay, I can go up there. This is where I'm supposed to go, right? No, I have to go down this way, I think. And then you think about, like, okay, evolution and creation of life, and these are all barriers, like barriers to entry, I guess you could call it, of an intelligent life form. Then of course you have to evolve. Like, what if there were just monkeys, and monkeys evolved into something else that wasn't super intelligent and could, like, understand calculus or whatever, whatever your definition of intelligence is. Like, what if evolution kind of just stopped there? Then you'd have all these super specific, like 1 in a billion things happening, and you still wouldn't have intelligent life. Like, maybe there might be other planets. I think that's pretty likely. I would say that. Like, it's pretty likely we go to Mars, or maybe not likely, but it's possible we go to Mars and there's like a gnat or something, like a bug under the ice. But we don't know. Yeah, I guess if I'd have to bet, I don't know. Like, obviously it's more probable for something like that to happen. Oh wait, don't move, don't move, don't move. I have to go over here, I think. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the last one. I think I have everything. And now I just have to go back up to the beginning part. Look at how big this is. So all those things, and what are the other barriers to entry? There's like this, there's a name for it, but it's like the barriers to entry, but there's like a different name, like, oh, if for intelligent life to not kill itself by the time it's able to travel to other, there's a name for it. Balt, do you know what it is? Are you smarter than me? Like, there's a point for intelligent life that they have to cross this point before they kill each other, like in a war or whatever. So that they can become like an intergalactic species or whatever. And maybe it's possible that it's impossible for a species to get to that point, because before they get there, they just end up killing each other. That's a very... that's too anthropological for me. It's like too much of a human perspective to be like, well, if you're making that many leaps to believe that intelligent life exists on other planets, you can't really make the leap and say that they would act like humans do. Like, humans kill each other, but maybe that's not what other intelligent life would do. Maybe it is, but if you're already saying that there's intelligent life, it's like another extra leap to say that, I feel like. It's interesting to think about that then in perspective of like God, because if you look at it my way, then my version of God kind of almost does make sense. Like, what if God was creating the universe and he was creating it my way, like through science? Like, he wasn't just putting his hands on the planet and being like molding the mountains and stuff, which is sometimes how I feel other Christians believe. Like, he made, well, it says in the Bible, he made Adam out of like dirt, and then he took the rib and he made Eve. Like, I don't really believe that that's actually how it happened. I believe it happened through, he used science, he used evolution, and he used physics or whatever. He used things that are natural processes to create these crazy things like humans. I guess if you really pushed me on it, I would say, I guess God is capable of changing the natural laws, but he doesn't really have to. Because he made everything perfect from the beginning, so why would he have to change anything afterwards? That's like my view of God, I guess. Some Christians don't really like that, because they're like, that's like the view of like, oh, God made the world and then he walked away. But that's kind of how I feel, because like, if God is outside of time, then all he would have to do is make it the way he wanted at the beginning and then kind of just let it go. Because why would he change it in the middle? It doesn't really make sense to me. Why wouldn't he just have it be perfect since the beginning, the way he wanted it? What would cause him to change anything? Our free will, maybe? I don't know. Well, that's not what today's topic is. I'm going to get into free will. But yeah, what if, so my version of God would be like, he created everything, like he needed to create a universe, and his goal was to create intelligent life. So like, he's coming up with all these ideas like, oh, I'm going to make planets, and I'm going to make stars, and I'm going to make oxygen, and I'm going to make organisms and cells, and I'm going to make electrons. And he's coming up with how he's going to create the universe, and he's like, okay, if I need to create intelligent life with the material that I have, I'm going to have to create a lot of planets, because my version of intelligent life is really rare. It's going to be really hard to make. So in order for me to make it, and for me to make it from the beginning, and to just do the Big Bang and then have it happen later, I'm going to have to create a system where there are trillions of planets. And then eventually, one or two of those planets will have intelligent life. I kind of like that kind of scientist view of God. Like, God is like a super smart scientist. Because, like, isn't it a boring view of God if he's just like, okay, I'm just going to make one planet and one star and one solar system? Because that's kind of what early people believed, is like, oh, there's a couple stars out there, and no, they didn't believe that, because they saw all the stars. But they're like, oh, God is focused on us, and he's kind of like really like looking into Earth and being like, okay, Anthony's doing this, and I'm going to make sure he goes this way. But I like kind of the macro scientist God more, who's like super smart and he just made everything perfect from the beginning. I guess I've kind of talked about that before, but it just makes sense to me. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you're making up these kind of, I'm just making stuff up. That's what we're all doing anyway. When you're talking about God and the creation of the universe, even like the smartest physicists don't have a super great understanding about. I mean, they know it better than me, but it's all just kind of make 'em ups, and like what you want to believe is your truth, because nobody else knows the answer. But like, God is a scientist and he's smart, and he's just like, he's outside of time, right? that's one of the tenets that I believe is like God is outside of time, because if he was inside of time and then he would be inside the universe, then how would he create it if he was inside of it? I think anybody who believes in a God kind of thinks that way. Or at least he's in some kind of other dimension. Maybe that dimension has time. Like if we created a universe, we would still have time, but I don't know, yeah. I'm kind of talking myself out of my own beliefs by talking more. Because I'm like, well, maybe God is inside of time. Because it's like, what if it's possible we could one day create a universe, right? And we would still be inside time. But by the time you create a universe, you think, you'd learn how to be outside of time. But I don't know, the scientist God kind of is a psychopath. Like, why would he create us? Just to be like test subjects? I wonder if I could create a universe. No. Okay, that's good. This is hard. Okay. And tomorrow, I think I'll just go to Mother Brain. I'll get you over to Mother Brain. Okay, we're doing good. Almost done. Excited? Another game. This game was nice and short. I liked it. Okay. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Vault, for the comment. Bye.